Hello everybody and welcome to the Alpha and Omega TV special, a Howl-iday Adventure. Wait.
I hate to say it, but, well, objection. Yes, folks, this is actually supposed to be a full-length movie. Okay, a bit of history. See, back in the day, despite being incredibly cliche and average, Alpha and Omega still had enough of that groundbreaking music. Yeah, well, singing was the best thing out of that, but I digress. Basically, thanks to several factors, I wonder if a certain actor's death may have had something to do with it, but the movie was apparently enough of a success to warrant a sequel, and they were originally making, and this was originally going to be featured in the theaters worldwide. Yeah.
So what happened?
We don't know actually. I mean, there were several things that happened, like apparently different scripts being written and rewritten. Some people say budget cuts, but there's no official thing for that. And also because apparently the first film made enough money. People also may have said that because they were continuing the whole indie work thing, since this is technically made by an indie films company just hosted by Lionsgate, although that should mean jack squat because they will later get funding galore from Lionsgate apparently. Directors changing, directors getting turned down. Ben Gluck, who co-directed the first film, was originally sent to solo direct the sequel, but then there was another production scandal. Ugh. Let's just say there's definitely a lot of scandals, this and that. Budget cuts, well, the budget cuts aren't official. We don't know the one
also
official
Dennis
term.
Hopper passed away.
That might have had something to do with it as well. Well, we don't quite know the official reason, but we do know there were a lot of issues between this one. And you know what's despicable is, like, well, even after they had to cut it down to like 45 minutes and 7 seconds, they were still going to release this in theaters at some point. But thankfully, somebody had the sense to veto it and say, nope, direct to DVD. I mean, would you go to see a movie in theaters that's only 45 minutes?
No.
I mean, even if that movie were brilliant.
I would, because like I said, to me it doesn't matter how long or short a movie is.
I can't justify paying a full cinema price just to see this shorter length movie.
For me, it's like this. For me, it's like this. The way I usually see it is, like, for example, for the Pooh 2011 movie, I just took it. Okay, basically an hour of awesomeness, and then I still have plenty of time the rest of the day to do something else. That's usually how I tackle these things.
We'll give Winnie the Pooh credit. At least that one's an hour, and at least that one actually has the quality. I mean, it's not just the length, but also the quality that you will see. Because let's just say that from sequel on to sequel on, this will make the first film's graphics look marvelous in comparison.
All right, so we've beaten about the bush long enough. Basically, audience, start
right on the Lionsgate logo. Oh, set that in sync.
Yeah.
Lionsgate. Okay. In that, without further ado, when we say click, you press play. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, click. And believe it or not, even the fan base is incredibly split. I mean, yeah, apparently there's a huge Alpha and Omega fan base of some sort that keeps these sequels being fueled. At least that's what I hear from the officials. But from what I've seen, most fans agree that the first film was okay. Some people say it was great. Some people say it was at least good. But I think we could all at least agree that the first film was the best, no matter what that may mean. And oh, God.
Crest animation.
Those 3 pups.
Let me guess, they're going to be a hindrance to this movie? Oh my god, it doesn't... I'm only looking at it still, and already it's not exactly filling me with a lot of hope.
See what I mean when I say that? You know, at least the first film, which had proper backing from what I hear, had... Oh yeah, and of course pun, Howl-iday Adventure.
Ugh. Oh boy.
And yes, meet the 3 pups of Kate and Humphrey.
Yeah, direct-to-DVD CGI movies, they usually tend to not work out very well.
There are some hidden gems, but yeah, it's sort of like the platformer saturation of the earlier days of video gaming. There may have been some diamonds in the rough, but oh boy, you have to dig for a lot of crap to find them. And this is, shall we say, one of the more smellier types.
Wait, Kate Higgins is in this movie?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing these are Alpha and Omega's children.
Well, Kate and Humphreys. The name is just called Alpha and Omega because. Ooh,
oh right,
cool
yeah. That first movie was so memorable. I even forgot the characters' names.
Yeah. I was just checking the IMDb. Apparently, Kate Higgins is in this movie, Pedro.
Yeah. Basically, most of the cast from the original film, you know, which was considered A-list at the time. Most people won't be returning.
Well, that's typical for direct-to-video sequels, so...
Yeah, and also...
Oh, crap! Okay. Golly, I've seen Flash animations that look more appealing than this.
This came out in 2013.
And let me remind you, this is the best-looking of the sequels.
Wait, are you saying the other sequels look
it's
worse
not,
than this?
It's not even just the textures. It's not even just the textures themselves. Like the characters don't even blend in with the backgrounds. Like they stick out.
Ugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, couple bickering.
So this is. Joe, but can I ask you a question in terms of the animation?
Well, you sort of are, Humphrey. You're the stay-at-home father. Okay, go on, Vince.
Does in the sequels, would you say the animation gets near food fight bad?
Yes. My Family Vacation, 100 times yes.
Jesus Christ.
Which one was Family Vacation again?
The fifth one.
A fifth one?
Basically, twins are currently making
a number 6,
7, and 8.
Again, like I said, I want to say this to the audience. At least the Land Before Time sequels can give the excuse that they're sequels to one of the greatest animated films of all time. These sequels don't even have that excuse.
You could maybe raise the excuse that the first one was, at least legit good, and yeah, it did make enough money. But the part where I raised an objection is where they made a sequel to 4 of all things. I mean, well. You know what? No. I'm going to go even further. Maybe 2. After that, you want to make a sequel to, redeem yourself after 2. But Alpha and Omega 3 clearly showed that they have no intention of putting in any effort, so I see no reason why they made 4.
Did the sequel... Okay, did these sequels even make money?
Well, since they're direct-to-DVDs, we don't have as easy access to their sales, unfortunately. But apparently, and I have seen some fans from site to site, there is some Nick Shea fan base. Okay, maybe I shouldn't call them Nick Shea, but... Well, from what I've seen, they're Nick Shea. Basically, there's this fan base, and, well, from what I've seen, they seem to be on this sort of fan base that, likes to draw a lot of recolors and, make their own... fit-in, insert characters here and there.
One of these days we have to get around to the Land Before Time sequels too.
I like some of the Land Before Time sequels. Yeah, I like some of the sequels, but there does come a point where I just throw up my hands at them. Hey, you know what would be a good idea, Land of Time? Why not have the characters actually grow up? But, oh yeah, speaking of growing up, yeah, these two.
Actually, the interesting thing, Jeff, is I actually have a fear about that. The way these sequels and the Land Before Time sequels work is that both Lionsgate and Warner Brothers, whenever they have some leftover change from their other projects and they don't really know what to do with it, just throw it at a Land Before Time, or in Lionsgate's case, just throw it at a Alpha and Omega sequel, and whatever, who cares?
Pedro, isn't Land Before Time done by Universal?
Oh, fine, you're right, actually. Yeah, Universal. Never mind then.
Yeah.
Whatever. Replace what I said with Universal. My point still stands.
Here's my theory. They used their Jurassic World and Furious 7 money to make the Land Before Time sequels.
Oh, yeah. By the way, we just got introduced to the pups and their names. Basically, one of them's called Stinky, the girl's named Claudette, and the third one's called Runt.
Please tell me Stinky isn't the fart joke one.
No. He's just called Stinky because... No reason whatsoever.
Because his parents hated him.
I can just imagine the writers in the writing board. Hey, so what are we going to call this character? Stinky? Genius!
You know, a weird thing is
Oh
like,
my
well,
God,
you know,
look at
honestly,
look at the flower thing earlier.
That thing didn't even look like it was actually touching him.
It was floating.
hey guys, remember when the first Alpha and Omega film at least had the objects interacting with the characters properly and at least rendered some stuff properly?
Jesus.
Oh my God!
I told you guys that by the sequels you'd be begging for the graphics of the first Alpha and Omega film.
I'll be fair. Unlike Food Fight, at least this stayed on DVD. Food Fight got a limited theatrical release around here in the UK.
I mean, I'm starting to understand why this movie's so short. I mean, they didn't really have that much money to do it.
Did they have like £50 or something?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, well, the history of this movie in particular is so unbelievably stilted and jilted. I mean, some people say that they did have plenty of movie, and well, the fact that they keep getting backing from Lionsgate must mean something.
So, are the sequels just as short?
Well, they tend to vary, but sometimes they're even shorter.
Okay,
and yes, they still try to pass them off as movies.
Let me guess. Let me guess. If they make an Alpha Omega 8, it gets to the point where the movie's only like 10 minutes long.
They're making an Alpha and Omega 8 as we speak.
I know, but they're suspecting it will be only 10 minutes long.
If I can give this movie one thing, it does have a decent.
I can't look at this thing.
Oh, hey, Garth and Lily, the only two characters from the first film. Well, okay, aside from Kate and Humphrey, technically, that I could care about.
Who?
Garth and Lily. You know, the two legitimate characters from the first film. The ones that actually have legit scenes. I don't blame you don't remember. I mean, yeah, they may have been the best thing, but that movie wasn't exactly doing them favors.
Jesus. They look like they were 2D at first, but they tried to convert them into 3D models and they didn't complete it.
Oh my God, look at those deer!
My God! The characters in Time and Eternity looked more blended in with the... Actually, I'd have to play the game again.
God, don't...
No. You're absolutely right, Pedro. I remember.
Wow. You're doing this... You're blending your characters with the backgrounds worse than Time and fucking Eternity. Like, if...
A lot of...
When you're doing worse than Time and Eternity, you just get a different career.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention since we talked over it. Basically, their son Runt has been kidnapped by these rogue wolves, who Tony, who you remember was the antagonist of the first film, apparently kicked out of his tribe, and yeah, it's Lion King 2. Basically, Tony...
What's shorter?
You know, yeah.
So it's Romeo and Juliet with wolves.
Dogs.
Wolves.
Well, no.
Wait, wasn't that kind of what the first movie was doing, though?
No. I'm not talking about the Romeo and Juliet aspect. I'm just talking about the whole exiles aspect.
Well, actually, Jova, the exile aspect was taken from Hamlet.
Well...
Which was also taken in the first movie, technically, but yeah.
The whole exile thing was more a protagonist thing, but let's not veer too much off topic. Basically, though, the leader of these exiles is a guy named King, and that's his daughter named Princess. The imagination levels I expect weren't that high. And yeah, a lot of rules these guys have, Tony, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 maybe.
I guess the makers of this film were just as imaginative as the people who make the Happy Madison movies.
Yeah, basically, you remember Tony, who was played by Dennis Hopper in the first film? Yeah, you know how he was the villain then, but now he's their uncle now. Basically, apparently at some point in time, he exiled these wolves who were trying to, of course, well, what else? Backstab him. So, yeah, those are these exiles. And yes, we're about to repeat a scene from the first movie. You remember the part? Did the
oh my God.
Oh yeah, get used to this scene because a lot of movies are going to reference this lately.
They look like they're not.
Oh my God! The fucking vine was clipping through his teeth!
Oh my God!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our playthrough of the Alpha and Omega video game. I've played PS2 games that look better than this.
This is from what I've seen. This looks. I think Rise of Lyric looks better than this.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Wibs here.
I agree.
Rise of Lyric at least had the advantage of having a pretty good art direction. The graphics themselves were terrible, but the art direction was fine. For the most part, at least.
At least they rendered some things properly. Jeez.
Yeah, they rendered stuff properly.
Oh, but guys, you think it's bad here? Wait till Alpha and Omega Free, where the film crew can't even get proper lighting done right.
So these souls get worse and worse each time.
Well, that's usually how it works with Land. But this series is basically the new this generation's Land Before Time, basically.
We're getting another Land Before Time movie.
Ew.
No, it wasn't.
Wait. Oh my god. The way he threw that piece of meat.
It looks like it was floating in zero.
I know, right?
I love how so much of this commentary has been you guys complaining about the graphics, and we haven't even gotten to how stupid this story's gonna get yet. Oh boy!
How am I supposed to concentrate on the story when I'm looking at this? It's like Pedro's issues with the first Hobbit movie.
I'm not even kidding. I'm having Hobbit flashbacks right now.
Honestly,
I'll give this movie credit. The water does look like water. I'll give it credit there.
Okay,
honestly,
we mean Pedro wants the high frame rate.
React to Alpha and Omega Free at this rate.
Oh, trust me, Dwebs. If the high frame rate version was actually available, I would select that as my next movie commentary in a heartbeat, because I'm tired of being the only person in the world who's seen it. And by that I mean, like, I'm the only person I know who's seen from my circle of friends and family who's seen it.
Well, I guess Portugal doesn't see that sort of stuff a lot.
No, it's not that. It's just that I specifically went to Lisbon to see it because I was very curious about it. So over here we don't have 60 frames, or rather 48 frames IMAX shit. Well, actually, we do have IMAX now over here, but we still don't have the high frame rate shit.
Wait, you can only bring half? Oh, right, he'll explain later.
I'll explain later. By that I mean probably like...
God! These models!
What are you doing here? And when I say Kate, I mean Kate Higgins, who is now voicing...
Jesus Christ, I mean... What did Kate Higgins do to be in this thing?
By the way...
she really needed a paycheck, Whips.
Hey, by the way, here's a question. You're probably wondering, what holiday are they celebrating? Since
Life
this
Day?
is a holiday special. Life Day.
What did really? You're ripping off the fucking Star Wars holiday special. Of all the things to rip off, it's like ripping off a fucking turd. Why would?
Pedro, believe it or not, that's not what they're doing. You wanna know what holiday they're actually celebrating?
What?
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes.
Well, it is a Howl-iday Adventure after all.
Yeah. I'm sort of spoiling what they're going to explain later, but yeah, apparently they celebrate Christmas. All the bells and whistles and everything of it.
What they've got? No.
So you see, at least the How to Train Your Dragon Christmas special had the decency of giving it a different name and actually giving somewhat of a different tradition to it. So it wasn't like, so it actually felt a lot better. Have any of you seen the How to Train Your Dragon?
No, I haven't.
It's actually very good. It's very good. Actually, you should check it out on YouTube. It's really great, actually.
Oh yeah. And the other two kids, of course, disobey their parents. Well, disobey the adults anyway and run off. Keep a count of how many times the kids disobey any adult figures, because it's going to be a running theme.
Is that over the course of this movie or the sequels?
Well, remember, Dwibs, the reason they're in this mess is because Runt was climbing up a tree and fell in the first place.
Dear Lord, those fucking trees. I've
seen better animated trees in like a N64 game.
Oh hey, these two are back, even though they already returned in the first film, so what the heck are they doing out here?
Ew. Oh. Oh my
He didn't
God.
even touch her! He didn't even touch her!
They can't even animate them getting a bit closer together.
So guys, so Dwibs, still think that Alpha and Omega looks as bad as you thought it did in comparison now?
I still think the first film looks bad, but this is... Ugh.
This is getting food fight level of bad.
Jeez, the bird looks horrible.
And I'm gonna let you guys know again, this is the best looking of the sequels. It's only gonna get worse aesthetically.
Why do you reduce the budget of movies as you go on?
I don't even know if they reduced the budget. I honestly think that the budget is either the same or expanded, and they just use less of it for the actual...
No.
They must have taken a fucking limousine every time they went to the bathroom. Seriously.
I swear, I swear this had a budget of like 50 quid, and only one person worked on it.
Shoot, I buffered a bit.
It's like, well then again, let's not forget that the Sonic fan movie exists, and that movie also looked god awful despite having a lot of
that's a fan movie, at least. I mean, that has more of an excuse.
This is from Lionsgate. Lionsgate, well, it's not quite as big a movie studio as, say, Paramount or something, but they're still pretty big in their own right. So, honestly, movie looking like this.
Not good, yeah. What time are you guys at?
18, 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, what Whip said.
Paused at 18:45.
Okay. You know what was ironic? You know who was... Lionsgate...
Question. That's Aiden Panettiere? Or is it someone else?
I think they replaced her again.
Oh yeah, Hayden Panettiere and Kate Higgins. Together at last.
I think they replaced her. Okay, 3...
Oh
2,
my...
1,
Go ahead.
Click.
That fucking river! That fucking river!
Okay. God.
Whatever the hell that is! Whatever the hell that is!
You know who was originally going to distribute Food Fight into cinemas?
Who?
Lionsgate.
Oh.
So it's like Lionsgate.
Oh look! Parallel!
So it's like Lionsgate.
Yes, another reference.
It's like Lionsgate were like, oh, we didn't get to distribute Food Fight, a shitty looking movie. I know, we'll make our own shitty looking movie and put it out, so we won't feel left out of it.
He's not even touching the fucking fun.
Oh, he's not even... I accidentally paused. Okay, what time are you guys at now?
19:35, and Jova, stop pausing.
No. I didn't pause the first time. I just accidentally paused the second time.
Move the cursor away from the screen then. We're at 1944.
20:02.
Okay.
To be fair to this, I find that's still more interesting than whatever's going on. Alright, go ahead. What is
3,
it?
2,
20:02.
1, go.
Yay, they're all reunited. Now this is the part where you ground your cubs for falling you into danger, right?
I'm guessing they're horrible parents and they don't.
See, this is going to be a running theme for the series. The pups are constantly going to get into trouble. In fact, that'll be the cause of pretty much every single sequel. Well, except maybe Alpha and Omega 3, but, well, I'll explain when we get to that godforsaken piece of trash, that stupid movie. Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jova.exe is experiencing problems.
Let me put it like this.
Fucking Lord,
Let me put it like this, guys. You know how you guys are like practically being tormented by this movie?
Okay, Dwebs. You know how? Okay, aside from maybe the liquids actually looking like they're liquids, which that is actually an improvement over that movie. Okay, you see how you're feeling right now about these visuals?
Yeah.
Picture this: 3 hours. That's what The Hobbit was to be in high frame rate. I swear to you, Dwibs. I've seen that movie entirely, and I could not tell you what the hell was going on because I was too busy complaining at every single effect on that stupid movie. Ugh.
Okay. Anywho, but yeah. Anywho, Michael, you know how you guys are like acting outraged at this movie? Let me put it like this. The sequels are so bad that they have desensitized me to even this movie in comparison. I mean, yeah, I yelled and screamed the first time, but, you know, after seeing the sequels, I honestly kind of find this one
tolerable.
Not as good as the first one, but I find this one, you know, good in comparison. Yeah, I find this legit good compared to the others. And I don't mean legit good in comparison to what is actually legitimately good in the real world. Heck no. But, yeah, we're doing this again. Hey, remember how in the first movie we interacted with a bear cub? Well, why don't we do it again with a bear cub in the sequel?
So, not only is this film unoriginal, it actually looks worse.
Well, it's a bit more... Well, okay. In comparison to Alpha and Omega 5, it's original because...
And also, I don't think being direct-to-DVD will count as an excuse this time, because from what I've heard, the direct-to-DVD Tinkerbell movies were CG and they looked okay enough. But this is...
Heck, say what you want about the Disney direct-to-video sequels, but even then, at least they were generally better than the likes of this, and there were still quite a few gems. Cinderella 3 and Lion King 2 mainly, and a bit of the Aladdin sequels.
I actually really like the Aladdin sequels. I mean, yeah, Return of Jafar does have quite a few problems, but it's still an enjoyable movie. And I actually find Aladdin 3 to be pretty damn good, actually.
Oh, goody porcupines. Yeah, those will come back to bite us in the sequels, too.
Also, those lip movements are...
They don't match.
Also, enjoy the kid actors for Bear Cubs while you can, because Alpha and Omega 3 is gonna make you wish they had a kid voicing the Bear Cub.
Let me guess, they got an adult trying to sound like a kid and he couldn't do it.
He doesn't even try to sound like a kid.
Oh, sorry, that sequence of him picking the bear up. Oh, God.
The biggest problem I've got with it is the teeth. The teeth look so...
And look, slow down!
Wait, what? Slow down?
Did you know somebody's model and how it was moving slowly?
Slow down in a movie. How do you do that?
Also, reused animation.
Okay. It cost £50 and they had a...
Okay.
They had like 5 minutes trying to make the whole movie.
We now have confirmation dwips. This is actually a video game that's being played on screen. I mean, the graphics, the slowdown, this is clearly a video game.
Unfortunately, Pedro, there was already a video game adaptation made, so apparently not.
Yeah, we mean it. We're not going to grant you anything. We're just going to say those 3 magic words and you'll obey our orders. Okay,
yeah. Speaking as someone who kind of at least likes what the first Alpha and Omega film was doing, I get it. Okay, there were a lot of people who liked Alpha and Omega. But did that really necessitate making a sequel on this caliber? I mean, look, the only time you want to make a sequel like this is if you have, like, an incredibly successful movie. Otherwise, you should try and make the sequel to improve on it!
But this actually makes...
Oh, by the way, doesn't this look like their homeland? You remember the part where Kate got run over by the...
Again, I can't remember that movie, Jova.
Basically, it's a reused setting.
Well, it looks better than Rivendell, I'll give it that.
Oh yeah, Pedro, I got some bad news.
What?
Me and Jova did a random choice of whether we do The Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings films first, and guess what we picked up?
You've already told me that, actually.
I was just saying it on publicly.
Well, what's wrong with doing The Hobbit thing first? It's chronological, and we get the worst thing out of the first.
I have no problem with that at all. I mean, I'm
not asking you, Pedro. I'm asking Dwibs.
Yeah, sorry. Remember, we're doing the extended version, so Pedro gets to see shitty effects even longer.
Anywho. Actually, yeah, I think whoever said that Hayden Panettiere was also replaced is correct.
Yeah, I said that. Whoa. This competition is going to be an exercise of how many disturbed noises I can make while watching this thing.
I swear to God, that mountain right there, look, That mountain right there looked like it was made... That mountain right there, that looks like it's made of fucking Play-Doh.
Oh, goody.
The grass looks more like moss than it does grass. And stop with the close-ups, you're making it look worse.
I'm seriously debating which one looked worse. These textures or the textures in Lightning Returns.
Okay.
How are kids supposed to watch this without getting nightmares?
And now here comes one of the infamous scenes of the movie. Say, guys, you remember how in the first movie there was a whole theme of howling and how, Humphrey was actually a pretty good howler? And that was the reason that Kate fell for him as opposed to Garth? Well, take a listen to this.
What?
Yeah, apparently Humphrey cannot howl properly, even though he howled perfectly, beautifully in the first film.
So yes,
he can't howl all of a sudden. That was a plot point in the first movie. Look, I don't care that much for the first movie. I like it, but it is nothing remarkable. But seriously, you don't just screw with one of the major plot points of not just that, but the entire franchise.
I'm pretty sure they don't care, Joe.
Well, yeah. And now you know why the fan base really, well, from what I've seen, doesn't seem to like sequels. Because, yeah, as of now, Humphrey cannot howl properly. Even, never mind the fact that that's part of the reason why he and Kate
they're rendering the first movie pointless. 13-2 style.
No. Actually, Pedro, no, they're doing even worse. It's like, well, they're still acknowledging the first film, but, they're making the plot point that, got the first film going pointless. Humphrey is a great howler. And to make him not be able to howl, that then begs the question, how the heck did Kate even fall for him in the first place? Yeah, it eventually became true love, but it was because of his great howling. And, it's sort of the thing that spits into the face of people who like the first film because, well, as you know, singing was a big factor of the first film, sort of like on Happy Feet levels. Yeah, that's a thing about sequels, yeah. They, kind of get rid of the whole, singing thing, too.
It's not a beauty, it looks like shit.
One of us. One of us.
One of us.
He is not.
Guys, I just realized something.
What?
There's only 15 more minutes of movie left.
And we still haven't even focused on the Howl-iday. Oh God, they have me saying it.
Again, stop saying that when it's so clearly not. That's the thing I hate. That's one thing I hate most in movies, where they say, "Oh, this thing looks ugly," or "This thing looks beautiful," when it's not.
Well, now you know how I feel when I saw Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah, I guess. Again, Pedro, I got a theory as to why they kept saying that in the movie.
What?
Well, we know the director was having fun with Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
While he was married and she was dating Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Subliminal messaging.
I guess that's why. I've got no real proof to back it up.
Okay. Movie, TV special, whatever you are. You only have like 15 minutes left. Try to have a point, please.
Or maybe some action. You'd think that at least that's another thing. The first film had action scenes, at least.
I guess they couldn't afford to render them properly.
If they, I dare, honestly, Joe, I dare to imagine what would action scenes on this movie look like, considering they can't even have the characters bite things properly.
Oh, you'll get to see. There'll be an action scene, just not nearly as much as the first one. Oh yeah, also the music is incredibly lacking.
Honestly, I think the music had more effort put into it than anything else. So okay, so now they remember stuff being done before.
You've done it before. That doesn't change the fact that it's dangerous, though.
Oh, don't worry, Pedro. There's going to be an entire movie dedicated to, hey, we've done this before.
So basically what you're telling me is that, Job, is that this franchise is pretty much going to become... remember when we didn't suck franchise? As in, always referencing the first movie.
Well, that's sort of the thing. There's a movie that's an entire clip show.
Pedro, what are you talking about? This series has always sucked.
True, but...
Honestly, James, you could argue that the first one was at least satisfactory, and in some regards... honestly, Dwibs, you can't really say that Alpha and Omega was really bad. I mean, mind you, it's nothing groundbreaking, but it's not like it was, god-awful or anything. I mean, it didn't really fail that much at what it was doing. The problem was mainly that it did it so cliche in a manner, but at least it did it. Fulfilled, and the music was great. However, with these later films, though, there's nothing that honestly seems to have effort. I mean, the first one literally seemed to scream that, hey, they're actually putting a lot of their all into it because, well, for an indie developer film company.
I think The Good Dinosaur is a better example of doing a derivative story. Not to mention, I still think the score for The Good Dinosaur was better than the score in Alpha and Omega.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. Oh, yeah, and plot twist. Turns out that his daughter, Princess, doesn't want to be evil, so she runs off.
We mustn't allow him to take our Play-Doh mountains.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Basically, yeah, the big shock, the bears followed the wolves because, well, they had their cub.
Bears! As Christopher Walken would say.
Bear.
So, yeah, it was the bears that saved the day during that action sequence with all the biting and everything.
So let me get this straight. A franchise that is supposed to be about wolves has the bear save the day.
Yep.
And what's the point of the wolves then?
Have you guys seen The Swan Princess?
Yes, but I'd rather not talk about that.
Honestly, I'll take Swan Princess over this because this Swan Princess is easy to make fun of. This is
agreed.
The same company that did that did this.
And yes, wolves and bears working together against wolves. Gee, I wonder who's going to win.
Actually, no, wait, no, Fox Animation was later.
The same animation studio.
Okay. So I see they haven't improved much. In fact, they've gotten worse.
So you're saying they haven't improved since 1994?
I mean, yeah,
that dog looks incredibly plastic.
Don't get me wrong. As Doug showed very well, yes, the Swan Princess... As Doug showed, Pooh joke! Comedy!
No animations of them biting on each other.
Oh, glorious. That's what I want. I want the movie to stop.
I sound so invested.
See, but the actors themselves.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, this family escaped and had no play in the action whatsoever.
Hey, Webs, maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh.
Wait. Wait, hang on. Oh, you know the director of this film?
Yeah.
Richard Rich? His previous directing credits include...
Wait, Richie Rich directed this movie?
No, Richard Rich.
I know, that's exactly what I'm saying. Richie Rich, because...
You know his first couple of movies that he directed?
Yeah?
Fox and the Hound and the Black Cauldron.
Oh, Richard, what happened to you?
He really fell.
Don't get me wrong, I find the Black Cauldron to be a bore fest, but I love Fox and the Hound.
And he also did The King and I.
I mean, the sad part about Black Cauldron is it has some of the best artistic direction in Disney ever. The problem is that the story and characters are so boring.
So, yeah, basically, they're going to get back to the convenience store. You remember that place where they stopped at in the first film, you know, where Humphrey had to pee for a bit and then they got shot at? Yeah, that's where they're going. And yay, wintertime, so now it's Christmas! And another throwback to the first film where Humphrey invented the whole riding a log thing.
Hang on, wait. The Swan Princess Christmas, which was also directed by Richard Rich, was written by Yuri Lowenthal.
Oh, and another throwback to the first film where they hugged each other, spinning around. Yeah, just keep a checklist.
Dear.
Jesus.
You know, guys, if there were a generator that ran on you guys' anguish towards this film, I think it would be enough to power up at least 2 solar systems.
Joe, we could power New York for 5 years with our moanings.
5 years? More like an entire century.
Yeah, like I am.
So yeah, this is the same store where you remember the guy who hated them so much that he shot at them because, well, wolves and everything.
Let me guess, he's humble and welcoming and shit.
I wish it were just that, but no, they're gonna go above and beyond.
Oh god, if the dogs look like shit, I can't imagine what the humans look like.
Speaking of the dogs, the pups, yeah, the pups don't even look like actual wolves. They're more like based off of a certain breed of dogs, actually, with how they're...
Whoa!
Oh my god! Joe, are you sure we're not watching the sequel to Food Fight No One Wanted?
Honestly, Dwibs, I don't know, because, like I said, the sequels are gonna get worse.
Oh my god, yeah,
And yes, you see that? The guy's gonna leave his entire store open for the wolves because Christmas! I mean, heck, any other day he would have shot them dead at this rate, but no, because it's Christmas, he leaves his entire business open for them.
Because who cares about my family that I have to provide for? These wolves are hungry.
Christmas. By the way, how do are the wolves Christian? Because they apparently know about Christmas.
Dibs, you can never talk badly about the Peanut Specials animations badly ever again.
Says when have I ever said that?
Well, actually, I think I remember you saying that you saw a bit of it and it looked really cheap and shit.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, no?
No.
Never mind, then I think maybe it was somebody else. Never mind. Whatever, this movie sucks. Oh, isn't that cute? The movie thinks I care.
Oh, listen to this.
You see, it's a rare movie that is flat out ripping off the first a certain movie. It flat out tells you it's ripping off the movie. It's ripping off.
At least
and a rip-off of Mickey Mouse's Magical Christmas. Because, sure, why not?
Well...
And what exactly... Wait, this is how the movie ends?
Yeah, that's it.
Don't worry, there's still some credits to go through, but they don't even get home.
But wait, what? You don't even... So let me get this straight. So they made half of a movie... And then they run out of budget, and then, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's just end it here. Why not?
Let's go home.
Now I know why this is so short. This is only the first half of the movie.
And remember,
they forgot to make the second half of the fucking movie.
And remember, guys, this was almost...
Yeah. I'm sure Steve Moore is so proud that his original movie has been shit upon.
Wow. Yep, just as I predicted. Even you see that the original had standards compared to this.
Oh, God.
Okay, what it's
Okay. Kim Duck Kim, search for a new job. You're suck at it.
Technical director, yeah, you're going down too. Oh, look at that. They even admit that a lot of the music is taken from the original film.
So wait, oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kate Higgins.
It's bad enough Kate Higgins had to be in this movie, but 3 times?
Yep. Oh, Chris Smith, whoever you are.
Like, seriously?
Okay, so that was the first half of Alpha and Omega 2, a Howl-iday Adventure. We apologize for the fact that we can't commentate on the second half, because the second half was apparently never made, because it fucking ran out of budget, and the story just stops in the very middle!
Yeah, I mean, look at how slowly they're moving the credits and everything.
Seriously, I mean, hell.
We're even moving the credits slowest there, just like the fucking Care Bears movie.
I mean,
and remember,
I think at least Food Fight complete.
Guys,
and listen to this, parents.
Look, CGI corrective director, CGI supervisor. Yeah, great job.
And of course, we're run the credits slowest still. Remember, enjoy parents for buying this to your kids, and remember, you paid money for this.
No refund.
It's like I said, at least Food Fight managed to complete its plot.
Wow, we're actually comparing this negative. We're actually giving credit to fucking Food Fight.
I told you guys, the sequels are just...
Jesus! Okay, I was kind of, neutral to it, but this ending baffles me to no end! You didn't even end the movie! You didn't end the movie! You left the movie only half finished!
Let me put this into perspective, Pedro. A lot of people hate the graphics, but the thing that's most hated is the story, and it's for reasons like that.
If you didn't have enough money to make a full-length movie, just make a fucking TV special! What the flying fuck?
Okay, that's it. I'm typing something on SSMB now.
Okay, final thoughts. The movie fucking sucks, and the animation looks like it came out of fucking Food Fight. The end.
Well then, Pedro, in that case, if that's your opinion of this movie, then you're gonna think that the sequels look even worse than Food Fight.
No, even I will admit that the first movie is fucking Shakespeare compared to this.
I'm talking about the sequels. I'm talking about the sequels. It's like, well, basically, Pedro. If you thought that this movie looked as bad as Food Fight, then you're gonna think that the sequels look worse than Food Fight.
I mean, whatever next, Jover. Is there a movie that's only 15 minutes?
Well, we haven't reached that point yet, but there is one that's like 27 minutes, I think. Or
so let me get this straight. I'm gonna take a while to get to it. The third movie is only 25 minutes long, and
it's 45 minutes long, actually.
Okay, fine.
The shortest one's the fifth one, which is...
Okay, fine. In that case, I'm going to take a while, guys. The 8th movie is going to be 15 minutes long, and by the time we actually, we have the prologue, we introduce the characters, and then as soon as the actual plot kicks off, credits.
If I can,
they might as well. They kind of did this here.
This is amazing. It's like, I thought you guys were just gonna be indifferent, by the second one, because a lot of people see the second one as definitely bad, but nowhere near the worst. But no, you guys actually exceeded my expectations. And in that case, if this was your reaction to 2, your reactions to 3, 4, 5,
again, Joe. But the thing is,
7,
yes, the movie looked horrible. But it's not so much the movie itself that baffles me. It's the way they ended it. The movie did not end. You're not done. You're not done, guys.
Exactly.
It was done in California and India.
The filmmakers got bored of the movies and decided, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just leave it as it is. There you go. Just release this.
Actually, Pedro. Your theory, that's actually more so for Alpha and Omega Free.
And then an executive at Lionsgate looks at the movie and was like, guys, let's act it out. Guys, we have a bit of a problem here.
What?
The movie's only 45 minutes long and yet it feels incomplete. Would you mind explaining why?
I just want to know why the heck happened to this movie. Originally, it was supposed to be a feature-length movie, and I can't believe we're actually thinking about releasing this to theaters still.
Actually, I've had instructions from my superior. DVD.
Good.
By the way, have you finished the animation yet?
Animation director, if you could, please.
Yes, Mr. Jover. You see, Mr. Executive, unfortunately, we cannot afford to render the
second half of the movie.
The second half of the movie, and we also cannot afford to render the wolves properly. So, is there any chance that you could give us more money? No.
Yeah, just push it into Alpha and Omega free.
But Sid, we cannot in good conscience do it now.
Okay.
Okay, question. Does Alpha and Omega 3 start where this movie ends, or are they magically back home?
Do you want to be spoiled?
I don't give a shit, just say it.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say they're magically back home.
Well, sorta, but also sorta not. It's a really special case.
So they can't make up their mind.
Okay. I'll say it like this. They treat it sort of like they were venturing back there, but, well, basically... Actually, no. I want to see your genuine reaction when we actually do that commentary.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay, Dwibs! Do you have anything more to say, Pedro?
I can't believe... I can't believe that I just watched a movie where I was actually able to... I mean, I was supposed to just eat a quick chocolate, but by the time I finished eating my chocolate, the movie was pretty much over. I thought...
This is amazing.
Okay, can I go next?
Go ahead.
Yes, go Dwibs.
Jesus Christ, this movie's terrible. The animation is horrible, even for direct-to-DVD standards. The story is there any story in this movie?
It ends so abruptly. That's what everyone remembers.
There might as well not be.
There's barely any story, and what story there is ends so abruptly. I'm surprised they even bothered with a story. The voice acting is...
It's... The voice acting is one of the better things of the film, but that's not
saying much, though. And also, the music is bland. The movie's just finished. I can't remember a single cue from it. And how is this going to get at least 7 more sequels?
I never thought that I would see a movie that would actually make Dwibs compliment Food Fight, not once, but on multiple accounts.
Yeah.
Alpha and Omega 2 finally did it, Pedro.
Food Fight had an ending.
Yeah, it ended at least.
Food Fight actually had better production values as well.
It had a story at least. It was a terrible story, but it had a story.
And I will say this, at least Food Fight's animation was kept more consistent because, oh boy, by Alpha and Omega 3, by Alpha and Omega 3, it is so blatant that you could very well see that no one was giving effort when it came to the graphics.
And this was from the same guy who once directed Fox and the Hound.
Wow, that's...
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say he was the... he was having all the other guys basically he was basically the dead weight.
And he was also a director and writer of The Black Cauldron.
Okay. That kind of explains it then.
Honestly, though, Black Cauldron has faults, but even still, I don't consider it bad on the level of this movie.
No. Fucking Black Cauldron is fucking Shakespeare compared to this. But the Black Cauldron is also similarly devoid of story and character.
And previously, he was an assistant director on films like Robin Hood, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2, the 1973 one.
So let me get this straight. You went from... making Disney classics to fucking this.
To Alpha and Omega 2.
I want to know the even better thing. He wasn't even their first choice. I mean, originally the director from... Well, no. More so the co-director from the first one was then... But then that's when production scandals went in.
And he was also a producer of the first movie.
Honestly, I'd rather that guy have done it because... Yeah, okay, say what you will about Alpha and Omega, but... That film showed that there was effort put into it. I mean, yes, I know it doesn't look that good, but for an indie film company thing, which aren't that common when it comes to, big theatrical releases, Alpha and Omega definitely showed that it had its heart in the right place. I mean, I actually would have liked to see what they originally had planned for the original script, but of course, for some reason or not, the production scandals went in, and the original creators sort of got the boot.
Okay,
So, yeah.
do you want to know what became of the original directors in the first movie?
Sure.
Ben Gluck, one of the co-directors, after the first Alpha and Omega, he went on to be a story artist for this film called The Prophet, which I haven't seen. And Anthony Bell who was the other co-director. His previous work included The Wild Thornberrys, Rugrats, The Boondocks, and he also did
Boondocks.
And he also did some stuff for the DreamWorks Dragons TV show.
Dang.
But apparently he also has a credit on this movie, apparently.
Probably contractual stuff.
All right, can we just can we just move on to Joe's final thoughts so we can fucking end this? Because
hold on. I thought we were still in the middle of Joe's thoughts because
I just said it. It sucks. The end.
Okay, ironically, this time I'm probably going to be the most level-headed sounding, but not because I think this movie is not as bad as these guys are saying it, but because I've already been exposed to the sequels. Put this into perspective. This movie is terrible, right? Well, for each movie, multiply that by at least, I'm saying at the very least minimum, multiply it by 10 for each sequel. I mean, okay, but yeah, enough about me foreshadowing stuff. But yeah, this freaking movie. Dear Lord, like Pedro said, this is a rare occasion where you get a movie this blatant about how it's ripping off its own thing and how lazy it's being. It's like, and honestly, as someone who kind of likes the first film, I'm kind of disgusted because, even by the original film standards, this is a spit in the face. It's a spit in the face to the original creators, and it's a spit in the face to the fans of the original film, especially how they completely change stuff about the world, like Humphrey all of a sudden sucking at howling, or, well, I probably shouldn't.
So it's kind of like in
sequels.
It's kind of like
go on, Pedro.
It's kind of like in Laughing Before Time too, where Sarah has that racist moment, even though the whole point of the first movie was her overcoming her racism.
At the very least of Land Before Time 2, they at least had something of an excuse that, it was a sharp two-feeder and, something that was dangerous. And at least that was something that was actually in the first film. But for this one, Humphrey could howl wonderfully, and yet now he can't all of a sudden. I mean... But okay, and yeah, the pups. They may not seem bad now, but... Well, actually, no, they do seem bad now. They're horribly rendered. They don't even look like actual wolf pups. Anatomically speaking, dear God, this movie mushes my brain. It's terribly written. The story ending is abrupt. It is lazy. It tries to cover everything.
And the movie was
not trying to be witty.
Not to mention that the movie was entirely made with Play-Doh.
Pedro, that's kind of being a bit too kind, considering with this. Okay, yeah. Actually, yeah. This one was made by Play-Doh. The sequels, though, they must have made something even worse out of them.
Oh boy.
Baseline, this movie is terrible, god awful. I mean, heck, it's so bad that I recommend you go see the original and just call that a day for Alpha and Omega. Yeah.
All right, so everybody, we apologize for the fact that we have an incomplete commentary for you, but unfortunately, ask the filmmakers, because they didn't bother to finish the movie, so...
Right? We're not going to bother either.
Believe it or not, guys, the sequels are actually going to have technically complete stories, but incredibly short ones, and yes, they're still going to pass them off as movies.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. If you don't have the money to make a 90-minute story, make a fucking 45-minute story.
What's even more confusing is that they must have the money to do some of this stuff because they keep getting backing from Lionsgate.
Not much backing from the looks of it.
Yeah, but even still, they must have enough money because, okay.
My guess is the budget for these movies is the president of Lionsgate picks up his pocket and okay, I have this change going on in my pocket. There, use it to make the movies.
But sir, you only gave us $5 of a packet of French fries.
Well, my boy. You'd be surprised how much you can do with little money.
But sir, why didn't you give us the money? But sir, why didn't you give us the money you're going to use for that Hunger Games prequel?
Sorry.
What about the money that you're using to make that Naruto live-action film?
Well, since I hate Naruto in general, I guess that wouldn't at least won't insult me anyway.
It can insult you another way.
All right, I'm gonna.
It could just be an incredibly shitty movie if it turns out that way.
Well, it's already an adaptation of shitty source material, so I'm not gonna. Heresy.
That was our commentary.
And now every single Naruto fan is gonna hate on me in the comment section. Anyway.
Honestly, Pedro, considering how much downhill Naruto went, I think a lot of fans would agree with you. But yeah, that was Alpha and Omega 2, Howl-iday Adventure. What's your guys' status after seeing it?
I never like this is the Hobbit of animated films.
Let's just send this.
The only compliment I can give it over the Hobbit is that it at least doesn't take fucking 30 days to finish.
Well, in that case, yeah. Tune in for Alpha and Omega Free, the something games. I don't remember, but I'll probably be able to tell you the title.
The games.
See you in the next.
Something about the games.
See you for Alpha and Omega Free.
Basically.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.